when it comes to grading and it comes to just the general narrative in the hobby, centering is like way up here, and then corners, edges, and surface seem to be kind of down here together. Mm-hmm. Surface maybe even below edges and corners. For me, surface I consider to be the most important, and I include in surface the registration, as you quickly alluded to there. So why don't you quickly discuss what is registration and where does it rank compared to centering and the other attributes? To
me, they're both. They if anything, registration for me is how the inks are laid, and does that create an image that has precision to it or not? You can see errors in registration. For example, again, take the standard bearer of the hobby, the 52 tops mantle. Many of them, if you start looking for it, you'll see the top of his cap has a bit of a blur. Others, the inks were all laid the way they were intended, and the cap's in perfect focus. 68 Ryan, possibly, certainly one of the most iconic cards of its decade. Same thing. If you look to the left of their faces, Ryan's cap, Ryan's face, it could almost be like a doubling or a shadow effect or blur. So that's what I consider registration. For me, the image I'm looking at is paramount. Imagine buying a photograph. Let's say you're a photograph collector, whether it's a Type 1 or an Andreas Gursky. You're not going to buy one where the focus is messed up, because that's what your eyes are looking at. Secondly, you want it framed evenly, right? So to me, eye appeal is primarily a function of the quality of the image and how evenly framed that image is, right? If you buy a painting, you're not going to frame it with 3 inches of frame on the left and 1 inch of frame on the right. You're not going to hang it crookedly on your wall, right? So to me, it's pretty basic in terms of what contributes to eye appeal. And I think it's also human nature that the eye is drawn inwards to the central image. Therefore, my eyes will go from the outside in. I'm not spending much time looking at the corners. I'm also not holding my cards like this, right? And I'm not looking at them under a loop. So when I put my cards on a wall display, or I have my cards in hand at a casual distance like this, corner wear goes away first. I can see bad centering from 20 feet away, right? So, and then I consider the fact that the maker, how was it intended? The card was intended, certainly by design, whether it's a 52 tops or 75 tops, card was intended to be centered. And the card was also intended to be handled by children. So where to me seems natural, centering to me seems like the ideal state. So a centered card with a good image, certainly the image was intended to be focused. It's photographs. So a centered, focused card with some wear to me seems ideal, whereas bad centering or bad focus is a defect right out of the factory and therefore less desirable. But that's to me.
No, I'm 100% with you. You use the term focus, and really that's what registration is. It's how focused is the image on the card. It's like you, as you said, they were intended to be focused, just like you wouldn't go buy an image, or if you collect photographs, you want one that has focus. Same thing when you're taking a picture with your iPhone nowadays. If you take one and you look at it after, oh, it's a little blurry because you should, you're going to delete it and retake it right away. There's nothing the last thing that I would add to my collection is a high grade card, like a near mint or a gem mint card graded by a third party grader that is out of focus. I don't care how well centered, how sharp the corners are, how smooth those edges are. If that image is out of focus, it's not going to get its way into my collection, even at a very good price. It might make its way into my inventory at a good price, but it's not making its way into my personal collection.
Yeah. I won't bid. I don't, and again, to each their